Welcome back to the Action Jack-0ffs podcast. This is the show where we talk about the very best and favorite action movies of all time. Today we're going to be getting into Aliens. Aliens, 1986, starring Sigourney Weaver and Michael Biehn. Obviously, we're going to be getting into this franchise a little late. Alien Romulus was last week, but we're trying to capitalize on it now. So we ran a little behind last week. We accidentally took that week hiatus, and then we did The Running Man like we were supposed to, and then we accidentally skipped Aliens, and then of course we're a little behind again because The Crow just released, and I think we were thinking about doing The Crow.
We were thinking about it, but we'll see how it goes.
I think
Maybe we will, maybe we won't.
Yeah, I think we were kicking the idea around a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how much we committed to that, but we committed to Aliens. Definitely committed to
Oh, I
Aliens.
love Aliens.
Aliens is
Oh,
great.
I'll always commit to Aliens.
I love the Aliens franchise, and I will say this: I have not seen the last. I did not see the last movie, Alien
Covenant?
Covenant. I have not seen it.
It actually is pretty good.
Is
It's
it
like a solid 7 or 8.
really? I had heard.
Yeah.
I had heard not good things about it. That's the one with Danny McBride, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Playing somebody called Texas.
Well, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Um, but yeah. Anyway, so getting into Aliens, what did you think about this movie?
The very first time I saw it, or through this watch through?
Well, yeah, like just what are your general thoughts?
Oh, my general thoughts is this movie is like putting testosterone and good feelings and just hell yeah attitudes is what I like to think about when I think of this movie.
Is that your
But I have a
is that your Wikipedia summary?
no, that's not my Wikipedia
That's your
summary.
personal Wikipedia summary.
That's my personal Wikipedia summary. No, this is one of the classic I like the sequel better than the original ones. This
Yeah.
is one of those where I really like the franchise as a whole, even though it has highs and lows that aren't necessarily the best at times. And I had a follow-up question. Are you a xenomorph or a predator guy?
Oh man, that's a good question. I will have to say probably a Predator guy. Even though I've seen more of the Aliens movies, I've seen all the Predator movies, including like Predators and stuff like that, like some of the lesser ones. Um, I will say I am definitely more of a Predator guy, but I guess if I were gonna put it like this, I would probably say I'm more of an Alien versus Predator guy.
There we go.
I like seeing the xenomorphs go up against. I feel like the xenomorphs are cool. Like they're obviously like a really cool horror villain where they like fight regular people and stuff like that. I like seeing the xenomorphs versus another powerful being, if that makes sense.
No, I completely agree. I feel like when I was younger, I thought the Predators were way cooler, and I was way more into that. But as I've gotten older, I feel like I like the Alien movies more.
It's funny because I think about the different Alien movies and kind of like tying back to what I said. Like you remember Alien Resurrection?
Yeah, garbage.
So I think Alien Resurrection is actually the Alien movie I've probably seen the most.
Did you just have FX only or something?
I think it was on. I don't remember what it was on. It was on like one of the big movie channels, like Cinemax or HBO or Stars or something like that. It was on that all the time, and so I like watched it all the time. Anytime it was on, I was watching Alien Resurrection.
That's ridiculous. You hurt my feelings. I've probably seen that movie twice.
That ties into what I was saying because that's basically like super powered Sigourney Weaver up
What an
against
awesome
aliens.
cast. What an awesome cast for such a bad movie.
Oh, I know, and you know what else? We talked about Joss Whedon a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Speed, and Joss Whedon was like the main writer on Alien
On Alien
Resurrection.
Resurrection.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was like his big contribution.
Ridiculous. And then meanwhile, David Fincher got his start on Alien 3.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how all these things kind of coalesce. And of course, you can't talk about Aliens without talking about the fact that James Cameron's at the helm of this thing, and this is part of his hot streak. This was like hot off the heels of his work on Terminator, hot off the heels of his work on Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and now he's going into the director chair again on Aliens, and he would finish out the decade with The Abyss. And I know we've had like our own issues with The Abyss off camera.
It's just hard to finish.
It is, dude. It's such a ridiculously
Out of all of James Cameron's movies that I've watched more than once, it's the hardest to finish.
really. I won't get into that argument, but because
Just
I'll
personally.
probably say something controversial that I don't
Are you going to
like.
say that you didn't like Avatar 2?
Um, I probably wouldn't watch it again.
Hurtful.
But that's just me. I mean, that wasn't what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like
No, go ahead. No,
pretty
go
much,
ahead. We're here. Hey,
no,
we're here. Go ahead. Drop
pretty,
it. What you got?
pretty much everything after Titanic. I would say that James Cameron's like been a part of. I would probably say it's just like not up to par.
That both of the Avatar films are not up to par. The
Well,
two biggest movies ever.
some of the Terminator movies is like what I was also talking about because he wasn't involved in like Terminator Genesis, I think, or Terminator Salvation. But he was involved in the most recent one, I think, which I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
but like as a producer or something, he's not that involved.
I don't know. He was heavily
It's,
involved in it for someone that hadn't been a. I know not to get into a rant about Terminator, but just to basically say that like for somebody that had not been involved in the Terminator franchise since like Terminator 3, and there had been like four other movies made in between that time and then. I think that the most recent movie was the one he was the most involved in.
interesting.
But
I thought you were gonna be like, I'm just not a fan of his documentaries about the ocean. Like I thought you were gonna be like, man, those submarine documentaries he made, why? Why
why?
wasn't he just making Terminator 4 instead?
Somebody made it without him. So, but yeah, but that also, I mean, that kind of makes me wonder, like, what was his, like, how closely did he have a hand in any of the other Alien movies? Like, do you think? I'm pretty sure he was just Aliens, and then he was like one and done.
Yeah, I think he was just in and out. He made his story, and he was like, I just wanted to perfect this story. I just wanted to, like the first Alien is all about how they don't have guns. It's a survival story. And this one has a lot of the same tropes and whatnot, but they are just like, what if we had all the guns and it still didn't matter?
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, what a great story. What a ingenious idea for a story. Let's take the concept of the first Alien movie and let's just make it times 100, basically.
Let's just get the highest highs of Alien. Let's try to get even higher.
Yeah, pretty much. I love it a lot. Welcome to the podcast, Marv. Great to see you here.
Marv, marvelous Marv.
You caught us pretty early on, so that's good. That's good. We're just getting
Oh,
into
this
Aliens. Aliens is the movie of the week, so that is what we are getting into. But yeah, I mean, the story is just ingenious. We're talking about let's have instead of just one xenomorph, let's make it multiple xenomorphs. I mean, it's such a
let's make it hundreds.
let's make it hundreds. Like it's such a simple concept. It's like, it's pretty basic, but I think on the surface it comes off really basic, but when you just look at it from the perspective of how well the first one did, I mean, it just works so well. It just works so well.
It's
This
game over, man. It's
this
game over.
yeah. We're talking about the sequel to the original, 1986 Aliens, the second one. So, but
Not
yeah,
to be confused with Twisters.
not to be confused with that. But yeah, so it's funny because this is actually like, I think the entire time we've done the podcast so far, I have only like rewatched the movie that either I've never seen the movie and I only watched it once, or I've seen the movie before and I rewatched it once for the podcast to get ready. This is probably the first time I've rewatched the movie twice in prep for this one.
Like it
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, like
Oh, I,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I just watched it the one time, and then today I just kind of skimmed through certain scenes.
Yeah, no, I watched it on Monday. I watched it Monday night, and I was in, I was actually like, I think the reason I tried to rewatch it some today was because I was in and out of sleep for the most part, and I kind of like feel like I missed some things. But then I went back and I rewatched it again today, and I mean, it's still so good. It's still so good even the second time you watch it. No matter how many times you watch it. I don't know if this is the one I've seen the most, or like, I already mentioned I've seen Alien Resurrection the most. But this is probably the second one I've seen the most now, because I think Alien 3 for the longest time was one I had seen the least, and then it goes Alien, and then I think Aliens kind of tops it out, and then obviously Alien Resurrection, like that quadrilogy caps out like that in terms of my watch time.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you seen this movie in particular over the course of your life?
Definitely over 20.
Oh, really? That's a good number.
Yeah, I would watch one and two back to back a lot, and then I would like kind of watch three every once in a while, and then like I said, I probably watched Alien Resurrection like twice. But
What
both three and four, I was very disappointed with going through the series.
I think Alien 3 has kind of grown on me a little bit. Like, I don't think it's as bad as I remember it. I just don't think it's as good. I think my biggest problem with Alien 3 is that spoiler alert, it kills off Newt and Hicks.
And Hicks,
Yeah, like it
it's
kills off
ridiculous.
pretty
It's
much
an
like
abomination.
off screen during the opening credits. I think is the worst thing about Alien 3.
And then we get the horrible autopsy scene of Newt, and I don't know why they did that to us.
Yeah, like now, like we got to sit here and go through all these like trials and tribulations trying to save this girl in Aliens, and then Alien 3 comes around, we get to watch her corpse being mutilated.
It is. It's a subversion on purpose, and Fox really messed with David Fincher's process and his ability to control the film and whatnot. So we can never fault it, but it is just not as good. It's definitely grown on me. Like I like the idea of the dog xenomorph. I
Yeah,
like the idea of the prison planet.
actually having the xenomorph be a xenomorph.
Hmm.
Yeah. The prison planet, yeah, that's a good one.
It
Yeah,
just feels like one of those where we could have left Ripley in that story, and like a xenomorph crash lands on this prison planet, or like a facehugger or whatever, and we just go from there.
or you could have had it to
But
where, Hicks and Newt are still alive, and like you have
yeah,
you have like it's already one of those things where like in Alien 3 there's this like added level of tension where Sigourney Weaver, I'm sorry, Ellen Ripley is on this prison planet. She's the only woman on this planet, so like there's this added level of tension of like she could get assaulted at any point, and it's like, oh shit, this is crazy. But you could have had the added tension of there being a child and a guy who was like seriously wounded, right?
and just bring Bishop with.
And Bishop was like, he was there, right, for like a brief moment.
Yeah, they like kind of turn him back on, and they have a conversation, but like just have him in the movie.
Dude, Lance Hendrickson was great
Dude,
as the android in Aliens.
oh, dude, that guy is amazing. He shows up in AVP, Terminator One. This, he's amazing. He's
Oh,
one of
that's
the guys.
right. He was in Terminator
He's
1. I totally forgot.
Him and Bill Paxton are like the guys that have been killed by one of each.
Yeah. No, well,
But does
remember, we had that whole
but he doesn't
discussion.
technically die
He doesn't technically die. We had that
in this
whole.
one.
Didn't he die in this one?
Well,
It's kind of like
well, he's still
implied.
alive. Well, he's kind of alive, and he's technically a robot, so he's not technically alive in the first place. And then, do we know that he dies in Terminator, or does he survive the police's taste and assault?
I think he died during
I
that.
I forget.
We're talking about Lance Hendrickson, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he definitely died during police raid in Terminator 1. And I guess you're right. He can't technically die as an android in this, even though it's pretty much like he's almost
It's
dead.
as close as he can.
It's as close as
Because
he
then
can.
in because then in AVP he dies from a predator
Yeah.
as the Wayland Yutani
Well, I was about to say
owner or
he's like a
whatever.
different character, pretty much.
Yeah, but my headcanon is that that's the guy that this android was based on.
Yeah. Do you what was I gonna say? So can we talk about the knife scene since we're on Lance Hendrickson?
And love it.
Love it. I love.
I I practiced this after this. I saw this the first time, like at the lunch table with a
Oh yeah.
plastic. Like
Everybody
you
wanted
were
to do
doing this to be
this.
cool.
Yeah, everybody wanted to do something like that, and I love how Lance Hendrickson is actually doing it himself,
Yeah,
and like he practiced for it. He did it, and I also love how Bill Paxton was actually not ready to do it. He didn't know he was going to be in the scene, like having his hand on top of his hand, until they started filming. So like to a degree, his reaction is like somewhat genuine when he starts screaming and freaking out.
really funny, and in like rhyming with how they didn't tell everybody that the chestburster scene was going to happen.
Oh yeah, pretty much in that same vein. Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously not to like the same extremity, but
not to the same extremity, but in the same kind of tradition of Alien.
yeah, that was so funny. And
That's really good.
I had heard that apparently during that knife scene, like they had to do a reshoot of it, um, and apparently Lance actually accidentally nicked Bill Paxton's hand with the knife because it was a real knife, you know.
They
So
had to get it sticking to the table and stuff.
yeah, so that was really funny. Yeah, it couldn't be one of those like spring knives, or else the effect just wouldn't
Hmm.
work. I guess they could have had to be plastic, but I don't know. I guess
I don't know.
they weren't thinking about that one very much. Um,
Back when we used to make things in this country, you know.
such a fucking boomer response. I love it.
I know. I'm trying to work it into every single podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you do. I hope I hope eventually. I wish somebody would like timestamp whenever you do say it. Like you said it probably around like 1930 or something, and I just want to like make
Oh,
a
I'm
whole.
sure I'll say it again.
I want to make like a whole compilation of just you saying that. That would be so funny.
Especially if it had whatever you said to prompt it. Every time Lincoln ever said we should have whenever we used to make things in this country.
Is this movie perhaps the most like holy shit we're fucked situation for a group of characters? Because I mean,
I mean,
if you think about it, like their initial plan was like we're gonna be stuck here for like 17 days waiting on rescue, and then they're surrounded by hundreds of aliens, and at the same time, then they suddenly learn that the atmospheric generator is going to explode with the power of like 40 megatons. And it's in like 4 hours. So what do we do?
yeah, it's pretty much game over, man.
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't get it. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like if the specific things didn't happen in the specific way that they happened, I mean, they were just constantly fucked. They didn't have a ship. They didn't have the whatever the truck was that they like came in, like the APC or whatever it was.
Oh, the
Um,
Batmobile.
yeah, and they were just fucked pretty much. Oh, another thing. Uh, this is another Stan Winston property, special
Oh
effects.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we mentioned him before. Just
I actually watched this with my mom because she had never seen any of the movies, and I was like, "All right, so pop quiz hot shot. There's a bomb on the bus." No,
yeah,
I was just like, so the first one is pretty much she's the only survivor. Like, kind of gave her the rundown of the first one, and then just showed it to her, and she was just talking about like, oh, Bill Paxton's so cute in this. Oh my goodness, what a cutie he is. And then as the movie kept going, she was like, Man, this is like really stressful.
Oh yeah, because it just keeps getting worse. Honestly,
Yeah, she was like, it can't get any worse, and then something else would happen, and I would just look at her with a little side eye.
yeah.
And then you have no idea. They're Newt's about to get kidnapped.
I love it too because if you look at the events of the movie, it does kind of have like this cascading effect where it just constantly leads into the next thing that is just the worst. Like I always think about how like they went to the extent of barricading themselves in the med lab, like during that scene where they were all just kind of like taking a breather, barricading the doors, welding the doors shut, and then they're like, "Oh shit, here come the aliens. Like they're coming towards us. We have them on our radar. We can see how close they're getting. Oh shit, they're now closer to us than they would be if they were stuck behind the door." And then you find out they're in the room somehow. Like they got in through like the vents or whatever, like above the roof or like the ceiling. And you're like, "Oh shit, that sucks." And then like, they shoot him up. They try to like run away. By the way, that's like my favorite like action sequence, probably besides Ripley and the power loader versus the Queen Alien.
That's what I had.
Yeah. Just because there's like so many aliens in that room, and I really love just seeing how many of them there are, and like I love those stakes. But then it goes from that oh shit moment to the oh shit moment of now we got to get out of here. And they start running away, and it's like that big running away scene where the further away they get from the xenomorphs, the more people they start to lose. Like you start to lose Bill Paxton as the Hudson character. You start to lose Vasquez. Then the lieutenant, like the lieutenant and Vasquez go out at the same time, and you're just losing more and more people. And then right as they're about to get out of the complex and meet up with Bishop on his drop ship, then all of a sudden Newt falls, and she falls down this vent, and now she's like captured by the xenomorphs. So now Ripley's got to go save her, and it's just like it just keeps cascading to the point where Ripley has to go find her. Hicks gets seriously injured; he's like concussed. Now Hicks is completely useless to everybody. Ripley has to go find Newt in like 20 minutes, and then by the time Ripley gets there, all of a sudden she meets the Queen, and the Queen is obviously like a 1 story tall alien monster with the strength of like a school bus. So it just keeps like going and going and going. And then by the time they get off the planet and you think everything's done, the big explosion happens. No, the Queen Alien followed them on board. So now they're just even more fucked. So that's just like my favorite thing about the movie is just like it keeps going and going and going with how fucked things can get. It's probably one of my favorite tropes is just like the constantly getting fucked.
Especially a huge fan of the classic fourth act of a horror movie.
Yeah.
Or like even sometimes the action movies will do it where one more guy gets up like Die Hard or whatnot. But like I especially love the we're finally free, and then it's one more scare, one more big fight, one more this, one more that, and I'm like now that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always refreshing because it's like, we got one last hurrah.
Is
Everything.
this another bug hunt?
Yeah. How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit?
But what I really enjoyed is I watched the whole movie and I was like, it didn't feel like 2 hours. Then as I was skimming and skipping through today, I was like, man, it really like there's not any fluff. Like every scene leads to the next scene that leads to the next scene, and it all like is just a perfect little circle.
Yeah, no, it is pretty much like on that level of wow, we really didn't waste any time because every time I watch the movie and I get to a certain point in the movie, like there's always like a clear cut halfway point in the movie, and it's like right when they like barricade themselves in the complex, and there's like a comfortable little over, there's a little under an hour left, and I always get to that point in the movie and I pause to go do something. I'm like, holy shit, it's already been an hour. Like it goes by so quickly. Just the progression of the uh finding Ripley, uh her telling her story, nobody believing her, then them coming to her, for her help, and then getting on the planet, and then discovering the alien horde, and just like all that crazy shit, and then getting into that perfect halfway point in the movie, and then it goes into that cascading effect that I talked about, where it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Just filmmaking at its core. It reminds me a lot of how Indiana Jones has just like the everything something has to happen every 15 minutes type of like scenarios.
Yeah,
We're like, oh no, the Ark is on the bus. Now he's got to go chase the bus, and there's a big action set piece. Like it feels a lot like that kind of formula.
yeah. Let me ask you this: so, having seen Predator, having covered Predator, is this is this special forces unit more iconic or less iconic than the one in Predator? Because I mean,
Uh,
you got Vasquez, you got Hudson, you got Hicks, and that's pretty much it. You got like the lieutenant, and then I guess if you want to add Ripley to that, you can.
yeah, and then Vasquez's friend who dies in the first encounter is also the one of the sisters from Shawshank,
Oh, okay. I
and
didn't
so I've always
I didn't even realize that.
yeah, like the one that's doing pull-ups and stuff with Vasquez at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's like trying to get to Annie Dufresne for the first few years of Shawshank before the warden has the head police chief guy beat him up in the cell.
Ah, okay.
So it's always been one of those weird things where I'm like, ah, oh, you're that bad guy from another movie.
I got you. That's like one of your like deja vu moments.
Yeah, that would be mine right there.
Yeah, I gotcha. Mine was actually the guy that plays Burke in the movie, Paul Reeser.
Paul Reiser
Yes, Paul Reiser, and I immediately recognized
also
him.
popped up in Beverly Hills, as I had mentioned in our podcast.
I was
This is where I know him from.
I was about to say like it. I had put that down as the guy from who literally was in the opening of Beverly Hills Cop, and that was it. And I also recognized him as the dad from the movie Whiplash with Miles Teller.
Oh my goodness, he is.
Yeah,
He was also on. He was also on a sitcom for a long time, is what my mom was telling me.
you don't remember what it was?
I don't. I did not make a note of it, but I should have.
Yeah, that would have been good.
It would have been good,
oh,
wouldn't it have?
oh well. Are you looking it up right now?
No, why would I ever do
I
that?
can hear the keyboard clacking and the mouse
I don't
clicking.
know what you're talking about.
Oh my god.
It was mad about you.
Okay. Never seen it.
Yeah, it was from 92 to 99, so we would not have been watching it.
No, but I thought that was that's pretty much like I thought that was really interesting. And it's funny too cuz like when I was watching Beverly Hills Cop, I didn't even put two and two together. I know you had mentioned it during the podcast, but it it just never even clicked. It didn't even click then.
Yeah, and then he's also in the subsequent Beverly Hills Cop 2, 3, and 4.
Is he?
Yeah, a much bigger role as it goes on.
Well, I know we did talk about how like I have to go see those cuz I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say since I had seen two more, I was like I thought he was gonna be a bigger role as we were watching the first one because I feel like you know they got such a big actor, a TV star at the time,
Hmm.
or who would become a TV star.
He's probably like in this movie, he's probably easily like one of the best covertly evil characters.
I was gonna say, how does this guy rank on your like your weasel of the team, your backstabbing Judas?
Yeah, as a Judas character, he is up there for sure.
He's pretty up there. It's him and the lawyer from Jurassic Park.
I think it's like pretty perfectly balanced where it kind of tricks you in the first place where he makes you think that he's actually an okay guy. Because I mean that's how he introduces himself. You know, he's like, "I work for the company, but don't let that fool you. I'm really an okay guy." Um,
Yeah, which should have been the first sentence.
yeah,
But it's even all the way up until like the first assault on the hive, where like Apone and the cigar chomping
Sergeant.
sergeant dies and
Yeah,
all that happens. Even then, Paul Reiser's character is like on Ripley's side. It's not
yeah.
until later on when we start to notice things that he's saying, and until the face hugger scene, that we're like, oh, this guy is a little schmeck.
Yeah, and then like you kind and then like the biggest bombshell you kind of learn that he is pretty much responsible for all the people in the colony dying because he's the one that kind of signed off on the ships going there in the first place.
There's always a corporate,
Now wait a
always a
minute.
corporate guy.
Well, wait a minute. Is that a potential plot hole? Because now I'm thinking about it. Ripley says that he's the one that authorized the ships going on this expedition. Did she mean the ships that the colonizers took to go to the planet, or did she mean the ships for the Marine Corps to go to the planet? Because
Uh,
the guy can't be more than like 30 mid 30s to early 40s, and she said, and if the colonizers have been there for like 20 years.
it could be a potential plot hole.
Because I don't remember exactly what she said, but I won't dwell on it too hard just because I don't remember fully. I should have made a note of that because I didn't even really think about it until just now as we said it.
That is a potential plot hole. We'll come back. We'll come back to it.
I don't know. We probably won't.
No, we probably won't, but it's okay.
But I mean, yeah, he's such an
Jamie,
asshole. He's definitely yeah. I wish we had a Jamie. Cryo freeze. I mean, potentially. I mean, Ripley's still technically Ripley's like 80 something years old, and because she was cryo frozen for like 50 something years,
mm-hmm.
so I guess it's possible.
Because it'd be interesting if he was the one who okayed it, so that he's like trying to retro his own mistake by taking this expedition, but then also being like, "Well, I have something to show for it. I have this valuable piece of techno engineered life form."
I do kind of forget that the cryogenics is pretty much like one of the biggest plot points of these movies.
Yeah, that you could just live forever, apparently.
Yeah, because I mean, he even says in the beginning of the movie that if nobody had found Ripley in her cryogenically frozen state, she potentially could have been, you know, floating around in space forever.
My biggest plot hole is who's taking care of the fucking cat.
Yeah, right. She had to call like one of her work, like her doc buddies or something, and like watch the cat. You know what's funny
Yeah,
about?
but like for over 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
However long, that cat's dead.
that cat's probably dead by the time she gets back. You know what's funny?
Or does she put it in cryo? Is that how? Is that the new daycare?
Well, it was in cryo with her when she was found.
Yeah, so that cat's like the oldest cat that ever lived.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I actually learned this. This was going to be part of my cutting room floor, but I'll just go ahead and talk about it now. There was okay, so there's like a lot cut from this movie. There's like 58 minutes cut from this movie's runtime. So this movie was another one of those movies that was going to be like 3 hours long,
They
and
always are.
but a lot of the stuff that was cut from the movie ended up in the novelization of the movie, or it ended up in like the comic book adaptation of the movie, which is like from Newt's perspective for the most part. And one of the things that was cut was the revelation that the cat did not actually survive the cryo freeze, and that the cat that we see in the movie that is actually a android.
Good thing they cut that.
Yeah, well, apparently it was one of those things where like the cat died, then they got an android version of the cat to help Ripley cope with the fact that she is genuinely the sole survivor of that expedition. Dumb, lame.
What's the one thing that was interesting is I guess I had seen the extended version or something. I specifically remember there being a scene where they talk about Ripley's daughter,
Yes, I think
and I was
it's
genuinely confused when it didn't show up when upon this rewatch.
maybe you saw the maybe you saw the like theatrical edition instead of the theatrical cut, or I'm sorry, the special edition. Because let
Yeah,
me
it's whichever version is on Hulu is the one I watched, so it's probably just not the extended version.
yeah, let me see here. I did have some notes where I kind of like talked about it. Um, because again, I wrote that down in my cutting room floor section that one of the things that was cut from the movie was the fact that Ellen Ripley had a daughter. She references her daughter in the first movie, and she like promised her daughter she was going to be home for her 11th birthday. But then we find out because of the fact that the movie Aliens takes place 57 years after the events, um, and she dies, and she died of like cancer too. So it was like something really horrific. So not only does Ripley learn she's the sole survivor, her cat's an android, she also comes to find out that her daughter died a horrible, painful death.
And though I completely agree we should cut out the android cat, I feel like the scene that I remember is just them like looking at a chart that had like a picture of an old lady and like the information about her. That scene is so important to me for the like the Newt storyline
Yeah.
that we should at least have that one little scene at the beginning. Because then
What's
there's also that she does reference it in the first movie, and it's weird that they would just not mention it in the second one.
well? Fun fact: the what the babes what? Well, we're going off of the movie because there is some lore elements that are not included in the movie and they're included in the novelization, but like we're going off of like some of the deleted scenes here. Like I know that in the deleted scenes, the Ripley does actually look at a picture of her daughter, and it's actually kind of like its own hidden cameo where the woman in the picture is actually Sigourney Weaver's real life mother.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that is in there. Oh, I didn't know that. Alien. Apparently, the video game Alien Isolation is actually about Ripley's daughter's journey and her experience with the xenomorphs.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've never played that. I've heard of it. I didn't know that's what the story was.
I've,
That's pretty
yeah, I've heard of
interesting.
it. I've heard of it, but I never played that one. I played the AVP game in Colonial Marines and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Colonial Marines I've heard was like okay.
Yeah, it's okay. If you just want to play with your buddies and just like arcade shoot xenomorphs, that's what you're gonna get.
I gotcha. Some of the other deleted stuff I had was there's a funny. It's kind of like a funny in joke where the androids in this universe are made by Hyperdyne Systems, which apparently was originally going to be Cyberdyne Systems, which of course, as we know, is James Cameron's as another James Cameron invention was the Cyberdyne Systems is the scientific group that created the Terminators.
Just a nice little wink.
Yeah, just a nice little nod to the audience. Um, this one I thought was really interesting. Apparently, one of the deleted. I think this was something that was deleted from the script, but it's in the novelization. So in the movie, the lieutenant, I forget his name, Gorman, Lieutenant Gorman, he is knocked unconscious by some crates that were in the vehicle that they were escaping in. Whereas initially, he was supposed to be incapacitated by a neuromuscular toxin that apparently the aliens can produce. Apparently, among the litany of powers that the xenomorphs have, one of them was supposed to be that they have a stinger in their tail that allows them to administer a toxin that completely paralyzes their prey.
Unnecessary. They have too many powers.
The acid blood, the mouth within the mouth, the ability to climb walls, the ability to adapt to whatever host creature they're attached to.
Environments.
Yeah, the super
They
strength.
can swim.
They can swim. They're agile. Like
Their hive is biomass that they produce somehow that they
yeah,
they excrete their own environment.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense why they didn't include it because then it would be it's like how else do you incorporate it? Because I mean, they incorporate a lot of the powers the xenomorphs have in this movie like really well. Like the acid blood, for instance, like because you had mentioned earlier that they didn't in the first movie they didn't have guns, they didn't really have like weapons per se to fight against the
which is
xenomorph.
which is how the flamethrower becomes a vital part of the series.
It becomes iconic, yeah. And in this movie, you get to see like that guns are not always like the best solution, especially in close proximity, because you see characters shooting the xenomorphs and then like the acid blood starts spraying everywhere and then it gets all over everybody. Exactly, they're the peak of the food chain. I mean, the xenomorphs are designed to be the ultimate predator, so to speak.
I
Thank you for your pity laugh.
mean, they were literally designed. If you had ever seen Alien Covenant,
Yeah, I gotta watch that. Um, I might watch that because I probably won't get around to watching Alien Romulus for a while.
I'll tell you how it is.
Thank you. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, I have as well. I listened to a whole interview with Fede Alvarez, the director who also did Evil Dead and Don't Breathe 1 and 2.
Oh, he did the 2011 Evil Dead.
20 yeah 20 is it 2011 or 2013? It's
It,
whatever the it's whatever that remake is.
we're thinking of the same thing. Yeah.
Which is why I love them so much.
This
What a great remake! So much better than the original Evil Dead's.
I will say it's better than the original Evil Dead, but I'm a big fan of Evil Dead 2.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's better.
That's hard to watch. It's the abyss of the horror movies for me.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to get through.
Hey, Marv, we'll put that in the picker wheel. We'll see what happens. Have you ever seen Deep Blue Sea?
Yeah. With the sharks,
Yeah,
I love that movie.
is that the one with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
Does that count
With
as an
Samuel
action movie?
Jackson. Yeah,
It does?
yeah. They like ride the shark. They shoot it with harpoons. There's action sequences for sure.
Because
There's
it has it as horror sci-fi.
yeah. I guess maybe it wouldn't exactly count, but I feel like for our purposes it would.
I'll look into it. I'll look into it.
It's got LL Cool J, The Punisher, Samuel L. Jackson, uh, and then the Skarsgård, the older Skarsgård dad of all of them. I forget what his full name is.
Right. It's Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, Thomas Jane's in it. That's cool.
Yeah, Thomas Jane. That's who the Predator was,
Yeah.
or
The
the
Punisher.
Punisher.
It's one of the
I just, it's one of the ers, but also because he was also in the Predator.
Okay. Okay, so this is funny. Okay, so you're on the topic of that. Let's go ahead and just say this right here because we're debating on whether or not Deep Blue Sea counts as a horror as a action movie because it's technically a horror sci-fi movie. Alien is the original Alien is a horror movie, sci-fi movie. I wouldn't necessarily count it as an action movie, but the distinction between Alien and Aliens is pretty definitively the fact that Aliens is an action movie. Correct? You would say so?
I would say so. More so than any of the other Alien movies.
Because I think Aliens is a perfect combination between horror and action.
It's the subversion of both.
In many ways, because it's one of the earliest examples of a movie that included a female character as like the main action star. It's funny because it's a subversion between the two movies. In Alien, she starts out as the typical trope of like the final girl trope, and
Yeah,
then going into Aliens, now she's the action hero.
that's great. And then we get all of.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and then we have all of these weak men archetypes of like Hudson, the loudmouth, who then in the firefight turns into a craven coward, and the Lieutenant Dorman character who's like the higher up who shouldn't actually be in that position, or the Paul Reiser character character who is really just a weasel.
Yeah, for sure. Very Weasley, very smarmy.
Very
Uh,
smarmy.
very smarmy.
Which then uplifts the feminine icon of the final girl to then the action hero.
and then you even have, Hicks, Michael Bean's character Hicks, is like basically the same character. Um, he kind of fits into that role of similar
He's like
to
the most
he's
understanding.
similar to the Kyle Reese character, where he's just like a really good soldier. But even by the end of the movie, he's incapacitated, and if it weren't for Ripley,
Hmm.
he would be dead.
Exactly.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, who's the one that kills the alien again in the most badass way possible using a power loader?
And it's one of the few times where even though we retreaded the exact same ending of the first one, not mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, it changes it up enough because it has it to where there's like greater stakes. It's like we said, like the movie does a good job of taking things that were already in the original and just kind of amplifying it. So instead of it being a regular alien, it's now the queen alien, and the way it's done is with all this crazy action stuff. It wasn't
Yeah.
subterfuge, it wasn't anything like that. It was like in the way it was in the original. With this, it's like she manhandles this queen and is just like throwing her around and then throws her into the airlock and just does all this crazy stuff.
So, do you think Sigourney Weaver's just that strong? That she's stronger than the vacuum of space?
Oh, I know. Like she's somehow able to hold on for dear life and to
With
withstand the
her
vacuum of
elbow
space.
locked?
With her elbow lock, her elbow would be broken.
It would be it'd be goo. They would all be dead the second that thing opens.
Yeah, that's it. Just wouldn't do it.
The change in pressure, they would all turn into liquid.
Yeah, I mean it's drawing in the characters that were above the airlock, like Newt uh, and Bishop, and they almost get sucked into it, and they're able to hold on. But Sigourney Weaver's right there, getting sucked into it, and she somehow manages to hold on for dear life.
You think Hicks could hear the whole thing going on?
I think Hicks, at some point, I like to imagine Hicks woke up, heard all the crazy stuff going on. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend like I'm still passed out.
Yeah, I'm doing the old dad trick.
Yeah, he's gonna fake snore and everything. He's like the kid who's trying to hide his DS from his mom in the middle of the night.
Oh,
So
come on now.
he
We were
hides
all
under the
playing
pillow.
Super Mario Bros.
Yeah. And so he's just like, "Oh shit, that's some crazy shit. I'm not gonna fuck with that."
No, Alien Queen, do not take my Pokemon Platinum. I was
Yeah,
almost there.
I almost beat this gym leader. Just let me save. Just let me save. That was always the excuse. Just let me save. Um, do you want to go ahead and get into the categories?
Yes, sir. I already gave away a few of mine, so
Oh
I'll
yeah,
let
I
you
mean,
take the
I pretty
reins.
much went through a lot of the cutting room floor stuff in my deja vu, but we'll just go into like some of the other stuff. Iconic images. I had Alien Queen on fire at 1 hour 59 minutes and 32 seconds. I thought that was pretty badass looking. I just like the aesthetic of the Alien Queen. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's incredible. What a great reveal.
what a great reveal. Oh man, you know what always gets me is that sequence where Ellen torches all the eggs, and then the queen starts freaking out, and she literally rips herself away from her egg sac just so she can chase after Ripley.
It's incredible.
And then I also had Ripley in the power loader at 2 hours 8 minutes and 32 seconds.
I'm so glad you didn't get mine.
What was yours?
So I had the shot of the alien coming out of the water behind Newt at 1 hour 46 and 43 seconds.
Nice, nice.
I think that is the iconic image of the entire movie.
I think so too, because I went to
It's just
go.
her holding her with the little doll head,
Yeah,
knee deep in water, alien exploding out of the water behind her.
yeah, because I went to go look up like the poster for the movie for the thumbnail of this podcast. And when I looked up aliens, and besides the poster, that image was like the first image that popped up.
It it's one of those where it makes you scared to take a shower.
Because an
When I
alien's
was
gonna pop
little,
up next to
yeah,
you.
Dude, I don't know about you, but whenever I was a kid, the scariest thing was closing my eyes in the shower.
Oh yeah, I mean for multiple reasons. Probably there's like a lot of movies that kind of scare the shit out of kids when it comes to taking a shower.
Uh-huh, just any of them like that, or like whenever I was growing up in Florida, going into the pool, like Jaws, all these other movies and stuff, I was always like, I don't want to go by myself.
You know what's the most random movie that made me scared to jump into the deep end of the pool?
I have one that's really random, so what do you got?
Where the Wild Things Are.
What?
The movie Where the Wild Things Are made me
I've never
scared.
seen the movie.
It's made me scared to jump into the deep end of the pool. I was afraid the wild.
Really,
I was afraid the wild things were gonna get me.
that's so weird and random. I don't think I've ever seen the Wild Things movie. I'm
Oh, it's a
familiar with
great
the book.
movie. It's a great movie, no doubt.
Very strange movie that made me scared to go into the deep end was 1988's The Bear.
The Bear. I've never even heard of it.
So it's like a weird French movie. Yeah, French adventure family movie where it's like a real bear that they're following, but then they have like a fake concoction story going around it where like these hunters are trying to get it or something.
Huh.
But what made me scared is there's a part of the movie where the bear eats mushrooms and starts tripping, and it imagines these horrific frogs swimming in this lake, and I was like, no,
Okay. Well, shit.
no more pool for me.
No more, because they're gonna get you.
I'll send you that scene later so you see what I'm talking about.
Please do. Um, number one liners. Oh, unless you had another iconic image.
I did not. That's the only one I wrote down.
Number one liners. I had Vasquez and her iconic line. I only need to know one thing: where they are. She like points her finger gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
So
had,
good.
of course, Ellen Ripley's "Get away from her, you bitch."
Perfect.
Yep, classic. What do you got?
I also had the get away from her, you bitch. I've already said it a bunch of times, but the game over, man.
Classic,
It's game over.
classic line.
Is this another bug hunt I had written down? I also had the exchange of when he's like, "We're not gonna last 17 hours." And he's like, "She's survived over 2 years." He goes, "We put her in charge."
Yeah, yeah. What a pussy.
Uh, I really, I really like that. I also had when Vasquez says, "I don't know, have you ever been confused for a man?" to Hudson.
Yeah, that was a good one. Vasquez is a good
I,
character.
that's a great character.
I love Vasquez. Vasquez was actually my pick for. She was my first pick that came to mind when I was thinking of like my second comers. For like what characters I liked other than the main characters.
It's up there.
She was played by Jeanette Goldstein.
Love it.
Yeah. I also put Bill Paxton as Hudson.
Oh yeah, that's who I had.
Yeah. I mean that kind
I
of
had Hicks. I had Hicks and Hudson.
I'd say he's probably besides Ripley, Newt, Hicks, it's pretty much Bill Paxton. And then
Bill
like
Paxton's just amazing.
I think Bill Paxton and Lance Hendrickson kind of like share the spotlight a little bit when it comes to that. I love the exchange where they're deciding on who's going to go out and get the transmitter to get the other dropship to like come down from their mothership and pick them up, and everybody's like trying to figure out who's going to go, and Bishop's just like, "I'll go, I'll do it, I'll go," and Bill Paxton's just like, "Yeah, Bishop will go,
Yeah, Bishop will go.
he'll do it." Another element of the cutting room floor that I had that I wanted to mention that I thought was really interesting. This is something that was cut from the script but was in the novelization. There's actually a third type of alien that is not featured in this movie. You have the Warriors, which are the xenomorphs that we all know and love, the iconic xenomorphs. Then you have the Queen, which is introduced in this movie. But then there was a third type of alien that was created but was not used in the movie called the drone aliens. They were smaller xenomorphs that were white in color, and their main job was to take care of the queen. And
Hey,
what?
guess what?
What?
Comes back later in the series.
Does it?
Yeah, we.
Is it in
Hey,
Covenant?
you got it. Hey, buddy, you better start watching.
That's so funny that they later used this concept, and it was initially in Aliens. And apparently, they're not like violent or anything. Like they don't attack Ripley at all. They just kind of like go about their
Interesting.
business. Yeah, I don't know how it is in Covenant,
It's
but
not exact. So they might have just used the concept art then.
yeah, I think they just use the general concept. If that's one of the things that's not the same, they use the general concept.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really interesting. A type of alien, like because it makes you wonder, like how does that work? Because we know that the warriors are created with the face huggers. The queen lays the eggs of the face huggers. It's not entirely clear how a queen comes about, but how would a drone come about?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I always thought that like the queen was like if it's the last xenomorph that one would kind of just evolve into the queen, but I'm not sure like is the drones just something that just pops out of the queen's back or something? Like is it are they just like spores or is there a separate type of egg?
I would
It
have
would
to.
just be too many questions.
It would be too many questions because I would imagine the xenomorphs kind of work somewhat similar to ants if I had to compare it to anything. Not
Yeah,
in
like
their
ants or bees or something.
something like not in their parasitic nature, but more so to the fact that like when a queen ant is born, it's kind of like because I mean queen ants are born like all the time, and it's just one of those things where it's like, is this queen gonna replace the current queen, or is she just gonna die? So like
Yeah,
it's possible that when a face hugger impregnates somebody and they burst out, it's a chance that that's going to be a queen, which is probably
interesting.
which is could be potentially part of the reason that it took so long like for like for because there were so many eggs in the colony that when someone eventually found them and like the xenomorphs started popping up, that it's possible that during that time period the xenomorph queen could have been created because that was a huge batch of alien eggs of face huggers, and it's possible that during that time period the queen was born, which is why she was able to produce so much more eggs and to because I mean there was like 100 something people, 150 something people that were there at the colony. There's no way there were that many eggs to start with, so the queen would have had to have been born, then she would have been laying her own eggs, and that's why they were able to completely exponentially increase their numbers. But the
It boggles the mind.
with the queen being able to lay the face hugger eggs, it's possible that she can control what kind of face huggers she lays.
It's also possible.
If I were to speculate.
Let's just get on Alien Wiki real fast. We'll get these informations.
And then the last thing I was going to mention for cutting room floor was Burke's fate, because apparently there's a deleted scene in the movie where Burke reaches out and he's like, "Help me, kill me, do something." And Ripley, because Ripley finds him amongst the people that are being used as hosts, and she just gives him a grenade and kind of like walks away, and then there's like an explosion or something, and he like kills himself. Um, but I think that's a deleted scene. It's in the special edition, I think, but it's not in the theatrical version, and it's kind of a good thing it's not in the theatrical version because it kind of presents like a small plot hole. Like at the point in time that he's discovered, he should still have a face hugger on his head, and he should it's because it takes a while for the face hugger process to actually like take place, and then the face hugger like comes off and dies, and then they have the alien inside them. But luckily, it's not in the theatrical version, so it's a plot hole that didn't exist, but it's a plot hole that exists in the special edition. Um, Spotlight cameo. I had James Cameron as part of the salvage team in the beginning. He's the one that says bio readouts are in the green. Looks like she's alive.
Really funny. That's what I had.
Okay, good. And then I had already mentioned that cameo earlier. Sigourney Weaver's mom as her daughter. So
Really funny.
yeah, that's what I had for that. I think. Do you have any closing thoughts for Aliens?
Just that I'm really excited to see Romulus in the next few days.
That's good. You have to tell me how that is. Aliens,
Oh, I will.
great movie. Probably one of the best combinations between horror, sci-fi, and action. I love the spectacle. I love the set design. I love the character interactions. Obviously, I love the special effects on the xenomorphs. And that pretty much covers all my thoughts and opinions on Aliens. Now, if you guys are still here and you're sticking around, we do have a special we do have a special end to the episode. Obviously, we're going to be getting into the picker wheel at the very end, so we can pick next week's movie. But we have something special. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. If I can do that, you guys are going to love this. Okay, so I should actually probably put this above chat. I'll just put it at the top. Okay. So, this is our tournament bracket. We talked about doing this. This is our tournament bracket for all the Arnold Schwarzenegger characters before the year 2000. I thought it was fair to just get him in his prime between the 80s and the 90s. So, as you can see here, the characters that we have are. Oh, went too far. Go back. Oh my god. I messed it up. Oh no.
Oh no.
I really just messed it up.
It's all ogre now.
Please tell me it saved.
It didn't.
Okay. We're good. Okay. So, anyway, so I got, let's see here. How many did I get? 13. I got 13 characters. We have Predator, the Terminator from Terminator 1, and Arnold Schwarzenegger from Twins. They all three got a bye. So they got a bye in the first round. So they are automatically in the second round.
Twins got a bye?
Twins got a bye. It was random. It was all random. So they got a bye.
He wins.
So yeah, he goes to the finals. So the first round, we'll just go bracket by bracket, and then we'll kind of like break it up. So, round one, we have Conan the Barbarian versus the Terminator from Terminator 2. Because keep in mind, the Terminator from Terminator 1 and the Terminator from Terminator 2 are two different Terminators.
They are.
So who wins in a fight between Conan and the Terminator from Terminator 2?
I gotta give it to the Terminator in my own opinion.
I will also probably give it to the Terminator because I think that Conan, he's super strong, but he's only really got like his sword, you know what I mean? So
And he doesn't know nothing about technology.
yeah, he doesn't know anything about technology, correct? Come on, let me move. How do you move?
Has he ever shot a gun before?
No.
I've heard that first you gotta get your mortgage in order.
What?
Because you said, how do you move?
Oh, you stupid fuck. I hate you.
You got hit with a dad joke, son.
Okay, so how do you move somebody from bracket to bracket? Oh, cringe.
Hey, I can't even see any of this, so you tell me.
I know. Is Conan's sword magic? I thought it was just like a regular sword.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
been quite a while since I've seen both of those
I'm
movies.
pretty sure it's just a regular sword. I'm just gonna say. Come
Is he
on.
He-Man?
He's not He-Man, no.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Okay, hold on. Let me just. Do I have to create an account? Oh my god, I'm fucking this up.
Oh no! He's drowning. He's drowning.
Sign up with Discord. This is so stupid.
Oh, buddy, you should have checked.
I should have checked.
You should have done a mock draft.
Oh my god, this is so cringe.
Hey, it's alright. You're the sexiest man who ever lived. I'm a little teacup, short and stout.
Oh my god, why is there so many steps?
Oh, because, buddy, why would they make it easy when we could have comedy gold like this?
What is this? I
Dude,
don't
how
care about
Marv, how you
any of
doing?
this. I don't care about any of this.
As long as Marv's having a good time, I don't care what happens.
Okay, cool. I did it. Can I please just move on?
I don't think so. You didn't say the magic
Tournament.
word.
You didn't say the magic word.
Word.
Okay, can I please just get to my tournament? Oh,
No.
don't make me redo it all.
Oh, yeah, you will.
I'm gonna be so upset.
Go ahead and clip this. Go ahead and clip this
There's
meltdown.
no way.
Here we go.
Where is my
Everybody fasten
tournament?
your seatbelts. Fasten your seatbelts, everybody. You're about to see a rare occasion of a Gare Bear anger fair.
What is this?
Uh-oh.
Now I'm upset. Now I'm genuinely upset.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go.
This is
Everybody get
so
ready.
cringe.
Oh, buddy.
Why will it not just let me do my thing? Alright, we're not doing
Should have done it
this.
on paper.
We're not doing this.
Oh, no! To the picker
Tournament
wheel.
bracket generator. I'm not doing challenge. I'm doing a different one.
Oh, this is peak.
This sucks ass is what this does.
Oh, buddy. We could just do it on handheld.
It's too late.
Oh, it's too late.
It's too late. We're doing it.
Oh, we're doing it live. Oh, no, we're doing it live, everybody.
Alright, let me just add my participants. Alright. Terminator. We're doing it live. Fuck it. The Terminator. Don't laugh at me, I swear to God.
Oh, I'm having such a good time.
Conan. Terminator 2. That was so stupid. Like, why could it not just let me do what I had to do?
Do you know what's going to be even funnier when this one does the same thing?
I know. Yeah, I'm going to be pissed. Let's see here. Then we had Mr. Freeze. I know this is like super cringe. Just give me a second. We'll go to the
It's
wheel.
okay.
We will go to the wheel after I do this. I'm so committed to this.
Okay.
Commando.
We could just do each. We could do each bracket as you write the two down. You know.
Commando. Predator. Junior.
Garrett, this is amazing. I'm so glad to see you forget how to swim.
Thank you. Yeah, no, this is fucking amazing. Don't you just fucking love it?
Oh no!
The Running Man. Alright, Terminator, Conan, Terminator 2, Twins, Batman and Robin, Commando, Predator, Junior, True Lies, The Running Man. What am I forgetting? Total Recall. There's two more. La, 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 la. What are the other ones? There's two more.
I'm not sure.
Fuck it.
Did you put Twins?
I did put Twins. Total Recall, Running Man, True Lies, Junior, Predator, Commando, Kindergarten Cop. That's what I was forgetting. Kindergarten Cop. And then there was one more. But I think I'm just gonna fucking send it. Alright, now we shuffle the seeds. Okay. Alright.
This was just a special treat for me. Nobody else is gonna think this is so funny but me.
Okay. Alright, here we are. Forgive me. I know this is really annoying. We're here. Okay. Oh, did I save the other list? I can't. Oh, yeah, here it is. What did I forget? Oh, Jingle All the Way. That's what I forgot.
How dare you forget Jingle All the Way, you son of a bitch.
Jingle all the way. Okay. So we're here. We're here. All right. So the ones that got to buy this time are Mr. Freeze, his character from Total Recall, and his character from Predator. I got Commando on there. Okay. So first round, starting over. This is the Arnold Schwarzenegger character tier list. Starting over. Okay, so we got the Terminator versus pregnant Arnold Schwarzenegger from Junior.
I got Junior winning this one.
I'm gonna have to give it to the Terminator, realistically.
Yeah, realistically, it's the Terminator, but
Realistically.
I thought I could get away with it.
Where's the start tournament button? It's so funny. What is this? Not what
Yes, yes, yes.
What just happened?
Here we go again, folks.
What just happened? Why?
Uh-oh. Yes!
Why?
Yes! Yes!
I have to add them all in again. All right, we'll do this next time. I'm not gonna just sit here and mess with this. I'm not just gonna sit here and mess with this. Delete that. I'm good. I am good. I don't know why that was so hard. That was not fun.
It was for me.
I hated that. Hated every second of that. Ugh, cringe. Super cringe. Anyway, that was gonna be like its own separate episode. That was gonna be like its own video and everything.
Yeah,
Thought
go
I
ahead and
had
edit that out.
thought I had it. I'll have to like do it in Excel or something stupid.
That's so silly.
Anyway, here's the picker wheel. We have Roadhouse, Lethal Weapon, Transformers 2007, Over the Top, Hard Target, National Treasure, iRobot, and Yojimbo. Or Yohimbo, or I don't think it's Yojimbo.
It is now.
It is now, yeah. Okay, so was there anything we wanted to add?
I mean, I'd put Deep Blue Sea on there.
Are we putting Deep Blue Sea on there? Deep.
I think so.
I'll humor.
It's about this. It's about the same story as this one, like the same, like animal sci-fi versus action. Like I feel like it's the same.
That trope, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so I'm trying to think, is there anything I wanted to add? I don't think so. I think I'm fine with what we have. At least
I am
get through like one or two more of what we've got, and then just kind of like go into whatever we're gonna do next, or add more, I guess.
Dude, it'd be so awesome if the picker wheel said you had to make an account now.
All right, here we go.
I would cry.
Yohimbo, okay, gotcha. Here we go. And it is. Oh, here we go. Hard Target. Jean-Claude Van Damme. We finally get a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yay!
Yay! Awesome! Woohoo!
Now I feel all of the feelings that you had when you were drowning a second ago.
Oh man, dude, I'm really disappointed. You don't even understand.
Oh, I know. Now, hey, I'm really disappointed. You don't even understand.
I was so amped for that, and it just wasn't doing. Anyway, that's gonna be it.
We
for
both get to be.
us.
Hey, disappointing ending for both of us. Let me tell you.
God, that was like 15 minutes of pain.
That was my favorite 15 minutes of the entire show so far, and I don't even know if we're gonna put it out.
Oh, we will. I'm leaving it unedited.
Hell yeah, you are. Good night, folks.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Deuces.